Hey everyone, welcome to Tapping Tuesday. Um, so I'm just gonna wait till some people come in. I'm gonna share the video. If you're in the room, you can say hi. I'm just waiting for some people to show up. I think that's shared. Okay. So welcome. I'm Laura, and this is my my life coaching page. For those of you who are new here, I am an assertive life coach. So I help people set boundaries, learn to stand up for themselves, be more assertive, and learn to say no to others so they can say yes to themselves. So every Tuesday, I come on here and do a video called Tapping Tuesday. So for those of you who are new, EFT tapping is the modality that I'm using. So what is EFT tapping? EFT tapping is emotional freedom technique, and it uses the meridians of the body in order to send a calming signal to the brain. So when your brain is in the fight, flight, or freeze mentality, you can get very overwhelmed, you can have anxiety, have a lot of issues. So what EFT tapping does is when you're being triggered by something, it allows you to send a calming signal to your brain so that when you're in that state, you can calm the brain down. So what we do in EFT tapping is we tap on the pain points. So we use what's called a most pressing issue, or an MPI. And today our MPI is going to be tapping into hope. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a second. So what we do then after we use that specific topic is I will prompt you and I will say phrases, and then you'll repeat after me while using the tapping points. So I'm just going to wait a few minutes to see if anyone pops in to make sure they can see that I'm live. And I'll just talk a little bit about the topic that I wanted to discuss tonight. So the reason I chose tapping into hope tonight, hope has been a word that has been coming up for me a lot lately. And I think with everything that's going on in the world right now, hope can be a little bit hard to find. And it seems that sometimes when a lot of overwhelm is happening, a lot of things that are seemingly bad are happening in the world, it's hard to keep that hope and to keep that faith that things will work out and that things are going to be okay. So I really wanted to do this tapping on the word hope, because I think hope is something that they say that hope is a muscle. Hope is something that you don't necessarily have in the beginning, but you can learn to cultivate more hope into your life. And especially when the going gets tough, when things hit the fan and there's a lot of chaos in your life, it can be really hard to kind of anchor yourself into that hope. So I really wanted to do a tapping that allows us to move from hopeless to hopeful, because that's the most important thing, is to really continue to grow that muscle of hope in times like these. So I think I'm trying to see if anyone will pop in. I'm not sure if I can see the comments. Let me just check it. I've heard from other people that it's acting very weird too. So I think it's okay. I should be able to see your comments then. So I'm just gonna get right into the tapping then, if you guys would like. So I'm gonna show you guys the tapping points, and then I'll get into the tapping, and then you can follow along with me and tap right along. So the first tapping point is the karate chop point. So you just tap, you can use however many fingers you want. You just tap right on here. And then the top of the head, the eyebrow point, and you can use like 2 fingers, or you can use however many you want. And then the sides of the eye, I like to use 2 hands. Underneath the eye, underneath the nose, the chin point, and then the collarbone point. So it's like right about there. And underneath the arms, which is right about there on each side. So as I'm going along, I'm not going to name out the points. You can just see what I'm doing and then follow along. And if at any point you have any questions, just post them in the comments. I'll try to get to them after I do the tapping, because once I'm like kind of doing the tapping, I have to like concentrate on that, and then I'll get back to the comments afterward. So just gonna see if like anyone else wants to come in here. Actually, I'll give you guys announcements for now, so that we can kind of give a few minutes to see if anyone will pop in. Okay, so my first announcement is that I am doing an Empowered Empath workshop. So my Empowered Empath workshop, for those of you who are not familiar with what an empath is somebody who picks up emotions and energies from other people. And they can tend to get very overwhelmed in crowds. They tend to be very sensitive. They've been told that they're sensitive their whole life. And they can pick up either emotions, sometimes negative emotions are more prominent, or positive emotions from other people, or physical ailments. So if somebody has a headache in the room, sometimes they'll be able to like feel that headache. So I'm creating an Empowered Empath workshop. Basically what that is to give you the tools and techniques in order to navigate this time right now, because a lot of empaths right now are very overwhelmed by what is happening in the world. I know that, you know, a lot of empaths have trouble watching negative news or being bombarded with things that are happening outside. And I wanted to create a workshop that really gives you the tools and techniques to be able to really empower yourself, to be able to help ground yourself in these turbulent times for everything that's kind of happening right now. So that workshop is on September 4th, and it's at 8 p.m. And if you're interested, I have the link in on my coaching page. I just created the event, and It's $10. You can pay PayPal, Venmo, or just message me and let me know that you're interested, and then I'll give you the link to the Zoom call. So it's all online and it's on Zoom. So if anyone is interested in that, please let me know. I do have a couple slots available for that. So yeah, so then my other announcement is that I am also taking on clients right now. And so I'm doing one-on-one coaching clients. And if you're interested in what I do, I'm an assertive life coach. I help empower people to become more grounded and more centered by setting healthy boundaries, learning to stand up for themselves, learning to say no to other people so that they can say yes to themselves. I helped people with relationship issues, whether they've just gotten out of a relationship that may have been toxic in nature, and they're looking for help with codependency issues where they are still feeling drawn to want to fix, want to heal, want to help other people outside of them, and they're feeling overwhelmed themselves. So I help give different tools to people that are kind of experiencing these things, empowering them to be more assertive and to stand more in their power. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I will post the link to schedule a free clarity session with me. And the free clarity session is going to be a one-on-one session where I basically tell you what I offer in my coaching. So it'll give you a chance to get to know me and to see if we're a good fit for coaching. So if any of that interests you, please let me know, and I'll post the link after I finish the video. I think that's it as far as announcements go. I may be coming out with one more announcement in the future, but I'm not quite ready to share that yet. So stay tuned. So I think that's it for the announcements. I think we're just going to get into the tapping now. Okay, so what I really want you to do is I want you to get really comfortable. So I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to take 3 deep breaths in. So inhale. And exhale. And inhale again. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Now, I want you to think of our most pressing issue. And our most pressing issue today is I feel hopeful. So from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I feel very hopeful, and 1 being I don't feel hopeful at all. I want you to rate that. How hopeful do you feel? And then just notice your number. And then just notice anything else that's going on. Are you feeling any sensations in your body? Are you feeling a tightness in your chest? A lump in your throat? Maybe your back? Notice any sensations in the body And then also rate that on a scale from 1 to 10. And then once you have your number, I want you to open your eyes again. And we're going to begin the tapping. So just repeat after me and follow along with the points. Even though I feel hope is hard to find right now, I still love and accept myself. Even though sometimes I feel like hope is hard to find, I completely love and accept myself. Even though hope is sometimes very hard to find right now, I completely love and accept myself. And tapping on the top of your head. I feel like hope is hard to find right now. Sometimes I feel like I can't find any hope. When I think about the future, I get really overwhelmed. I'm usually a really hopeful person. But I find right now that sometimes it's hard to find hope. I'm usually such an optimistic person. I can be really hopeful about a lot of things in my life. But it's just all gotten too much. And it's hard for me to see the future. Maybe I've lost my job and I feel kind of hopeless. Maybe I'm worried about the things that are happening in the future. Maybe it's hard for me to see that things are going to get better. Maybe I'm feeling really overwhelmed. I really want to be optimistic about the future. But I'm finding lately that I'm becoming so cynical. Sometimes it's hard to find hope when we don't know what the future holds. Sometimes it's hard to be hopeful when things seem to be getting worse. It can be really overwhelming. Some of us don't know how to navigate this. and we find ourselves losing hope. Maybe we have a hope in God or some sort of thing outside of ourselves. But we're finding ourselves getting very angry about what's happening right now. Maybe it's hard to find hope when we've lost a lot. Maybe it's hard to find hope because we can't see what's happening. When all is crumbling around us, sometimes it's hard to find hope. But maybe new things are being built on that foundation. Maybe after the crumbling, we can start to build the life that we've always dreamed of. Maybe our hope for the future is starting a new beginning. Maybe we can start to see everything that's happening for a reason. We may not seemingly like the reason, but we don't know what it's for yet. Maybe we can have hope in knowing that we're starting something new. And when we start something new, we can make it whatever we dream of. My hope for the future is that we are creating a better world. My hope for the future is that we are creating a better world for the children of this earth. My hope for the future is that from this, we're learning how to be so much more compassionate towards one another. We can learn that even in chaos, we can start to rebuild our new foundation. When I see the future, I see beautiful things. And when I think about that, I start to manifest that into my reality. I have lots of hope for the future. And my hope is that you begin to see that future too. You can start to let go of the collapsing and the crumbling and start to see the new beginnings. Having hope that the new world that we're creating is so much brighter. I want you to have hope for the future. I want you to know that everything is happening in divine timing. I want you to hold on to that hope for a brighter tomorrow. Knowing that we can create this world that we want to see. We can create a better future for our children and our children's children. If we keep on holding hope that it can be this way. Letting go of the fear of the future and anchoring into the hope of a brighter tomorrow. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. I want you to close your eyes again. And I want you to check in again. Check into your number. When I say, I am hopeful, where is your number now? Hopefully it's gone up. And also check into your body. How does your body feel again now? Do you feel calmer? Has some of your anxiety gone away? Do you feel more grounded and centered into your body? Just check in with that number. And then after you open your eyes, if you want to write what your number was and what your number went to in the comments. So hopefully your number went up for the first one. So the first one we were looking for, I am hopeful. So we were trying to get that number to go up. So I'm hoping that we see some that were maybe you felt a 6 and you went to an 8, or things like that. Because I think that, like I said, hope is a muscle. And the more that we practice it, the more that we cultivate it, the more we can feel grounded in our body and start to really anchor into that hope of the future. And I really wanted to create this video because for me, it's not spiritually bypassing to be hopeful. Because some people, when they're talking about seeing beautiful things and thinking the future's going to be grand and great, and it's not, it's acknowledging what is going on, what is happening right now. And we can see that there's a lot of chaos right now and a lot of things that are not like that right now. But that's why hope is so important. Because if we don't start to have that hope and that manifesting power to create that future that we want, then we'll get stuck and trapped in the chaos that is unfolding. So I really want you to be conscious of your thoughts, because your thoughts, I believe, create reality. Your thoughts are so powerful. And when we start to have more hopeful thoughts, we can start to get out of the depressed moods, the anxiety, the worry, the anxiousness, and the fear of the future. And we can start to envision the life that we want to create. Because really what we're doing right now is it's a tower moment. If any of you are into tarot cards, the tower card is basically the collapsing, the crumbling, the getting rid of all that no longer serves you. And that can be a very scary moment because it's the free fall. It's the ego death. The ego is something that, you know, is a part of us, and we cling on to it, and it's something that's very hard to let go of. But as we're doing the tapping is such a good way to allow the ego to have its voice, but also quell the anxiety from the ego. So the ego can be the you call it the inner critic, the voice in your head that's saying all these things about doubt and insecurity and making you feel really insecure about yourself. So when we're tapping, we're really giving that voice to the ego so it feels like it actually has an outlet, a way of expressing itself in a way that's not harmful, it's helpful. And then when we're doing the tapping, we actually release part of that and we allow it to kind of move through us. So it's not sticking to us. So when we're really looking into that hope, the hope is really allowing that voice of not feeling hopeful, allowing yourself to acknowledge the parts of you that are not feeling hopeful, that are feeling really scared, that are feeling really overwhelmed, feeling really anxious right now. It's allowing that, because if we suppress that and just go into the hope, then that's not really doing any justice. We're not actually acknowledging it. We're really talking to that voice that is already in our head that's saying these things that are not true, but it's voicing out all those fears and those concerns, and it's allowing it to process through. So I really hope that that really resonated with you, and that you feel more hopeful now, that you feel better. And the thing about tapping is that you can replay this video. So tapping, you can bring your number down, or in our case, we brought the number up because it was, I feel hopeful. So when you are tapping, if you feel like the number isn't where you want it to be, you can tap again. Tapping is an ongoing process. It's something that is, sometimes if you have time, if you have maybe 5 minutes daily to tap, it's something that you can repeat over and over again, because the more that you do it, the more that you clear. You can tap on anything, and when you're in a moment of being triggered, that's the best time to really tap. When we're kind of feeling in these moments, we can really get overwhelmed and anxious, but if we start tapping on it, then we can start to feel better. So it's actually best to do it when you're in that moment, if you can. And so yeah, so you can replay this video as much as you want. You can even use your own words if you feel comfortable doing that. It's just voicing what's already in your head and using the points. And if you want more information on EFT tapping, go to thetappingsolution.com. That's where I learned everything. And Nick and Jessica Ortner are the creators of that, and they have an amazing library of information on tapping. They do a Tapping World Summit every year, and I've just gotten so much benefit in my life of EFT tapping, and I hope that this really helps you too. There's also videos on YouTube if you want to if you want to search for it. So yeah, so I really hope that this helped you cultivate more hope into your lives. And if you didn't, if you want to watch the replay, I did mention earlier that I have some announcements in the beginning. So if you didn't catch that, watch the beginning of this. I talk about a couple of my announcements, my Empowered Empath workshop that I'm doing, and I'm also accepting clients right now. So I'm going to post the link to my scheduling page if you are interested in a free clarity session. I really hope this helped you so much. I'm sending you guys so much love. Bye.